I worked 3 jobs to put my husband through medical school. The week he graduated, he asked for a divorce. This is what I did next. I want you to understand what those 4 years actually looked like. Because it is easy to hear the words 3 jobs and just nod and move on. I want you to actually see it. 5:30 every morning. Full-time administrative job from 7 until 3. Straight to a cafe where I waitressed from 4 until 9. Weekends, I tutored high school students for whatever extra money I could get. I came home most nights with feet so sore. I would sit on the edge of the bed for 10 minutes before I could take my shoes off. I stopped seeing friends. Stopped taking care of myself the way I used to. Stopped thinking about my own dreams because there was simply no room left in the day for anything that was not keeping us alive. My husband was in medical school. I knew it was hard for him. I never minimized that. But someone had to pay the rent. Someone had to pay the groceries. Someone had to pay his tuition every single semester without fail. We had agreed together that person would be me. While he finished. While he became what he had always dreamed of being. I believed in him completely. I was not resentful. I was exhausted, but I was proud. Every past exam felt like mine too. Every hard night I talked him through, I did it willingly. He was my person and I was his, and we had plans. Beautiful specific plans for the life we were going to build once he was on the other side. We graduated on a Saturday in May. I sat in that auditorium in a dress I had saved up for, and I cried real tears when they called his name. We went to dinner with his family that night. His mother talked about how hard he had worked. Nobody mentioned the woman sitting at the table who had worked herself hollow for 4 years to make that moment happen. I smiled through all of it because I thought, does not matter, we made it. That is all that matters. 6 days later, he sat down at our kitchen table with an expression I had never seen on his face before. And he told me he wanted a divorce. He said he had grown, that he was different now, that he cared about me but was not in love with me anymore. He thought we wanted different things. I asked him one question. I said, is there someone else? Looked at the table. There was someone else. A fellow resident. Someone shiny and new who existed in the world he was stepping into. The world I had bled for 4 years to build for him. Something went very cold and very clear inside me in that moment. Not sadness, not yet. Something sharper than sadness. Something that knew exactly what it needed to do. I stood up, picked up my bag, and I went straight to my car and called the best divorce lawyer in the city. My lawyer was extraordinary. She looked at me across her desk and I laid out 4 years of records. Every paycheck, every bank transfer, every tuition payment, every utility bill, every grocery receipt I had kept because something in me had always known to keep them. I had 4 years of proof that I had funded his entire existence while he built his career. She looked at everything. Then she looked at me. And she said, he made a very serious mistake. He filed immediately. And we filed for everything. Spousal support, a significant share of his future, earnings given the direct financial contribution I had made to his career, reimbursement for the tuition I had paid, assets, everything. He had hired a lawyer too. His lawyer called mine and tried to negotiate something smaller. Said my husband thought we could keep it civil. Keep it simple. My lawyer told his lawyer that simple was no longer an option. He had not expected this. He had expected me to be too heartbroken to fight, too overwhelmed to organize. He thought he was walking away clean into his new shiny life and I would just let him. Did not know who he had been married to. The case went to court. And it was not quick and it was not quiet. His income was examined. His future earning potential as a doctor was put on the table. The judge looked at 4 years of financial records, showing exactly what I had done and exactly what he owed. The ruling was in my favor. Substantially in my favor. Spousal support for 5 years. Percentage of his earnings. Full reimbursement of tuition costs. Settlement that made his lawyer go very quiet in that courtroom. He sat across from me when the ruling was read and I looked at him once. Just once calmly. The way you look at something that used to mean everything and now means nothing at all. But I was not done. Because while the case was ongoing, I had enrolled in university. Degree I had put on hold 4 years ago. I went back and I finished it. And I was exceptional at it because this time I was doing it for no one but myself. I graduated. I built a career in healthcare administration. I was sharp and focused and hungry in a way I had never been before because I had nothing left to lose and everything left to prove to myself. Within 4 years, I was the director of operations at one of the most respected medical institutions in the state. The kind of hospital that trains residents. The kind of hospital where young doctors build their careers. His hospital merged with ours. And one afternoon I was walking through the corridor of my building and I turned a corner and there he was, in his white coat with his name badge, looking exactly like someone who thought he had won. He saw me at the same moment I saw him. The confusion on his face as he processed my position. The title on the wall behind me, staff who greeted me as I walked past, was something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. He said my name, quietly, like a question. I looked at him the way you look at someone you used to know a long time ago in a different life. Politely, briefly, without a single crack in my composure, said, good to see you. Welcome to the team. And I kept walking. He worked in my hospital, under the administration I ran, in the career that existed because of the 4 years I had funded. Every single day he walked those corridors, he would see my name on the door, and he would know exactly what he threw away. That was the ending I had promised myself in that kitchen the night he looked at the table instead of answering my question. I kept that promise. I kept every single one.